Yo, what's up, swag? And you already know what time it is, man. It's your boy Keon Laura, aka KL Swag. Back here with a video, man. Look, man, we about to react to Tom Brady, bro. That man might be retiring, man. Tom Brady might be retiring. We don't know yet, but hey, that's why we're gonna get into this reaction. Man, Tom Brady might be over with. Let's check it out.
Brady said it's not about what he wants, it's about what his family wants. Yes, Brady is still playing extremely well. He's probably never going to drop off, but there's so much more at play here. Yes, he is going to step back and consider retirement. For real.
The games we saw this past weekend were absolutely remarkable. But on Sunday morning, before the Tampa Bay Buccaneers took on the Los Angeles Rams, before Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills lost to the Kansas City Chiefs on a coin toss, I'm just kidding, Chiefs fans, there was a headline that kind of took the NFL by storm that will completely alter the course of the NFL this year.
That was a beautiful ball.
And that's the fact that Tom Brady is seriously considering retirement.
He might.
Now, yesterday, I made a video on the initial report of this, but Tom Brady released a podcast recently where he expanded and elaborated a little bit more on why he was seriously considering retirement. I know this might seem very strange that someone that was literally a front runner for MVP this year is considering retirement, but he has some pretty good reasons as to why. So before we get to the content, we're giving away $500 on my Instagram page to just a follower on IG. All you
gotta get to it.
His jersey in the middle of the game, which by the way, we have a remarkable, compelling 40-minute long documentary on the rise and fall of Antonio Brown.
Damn!
Out for that in the next week. We're still reviewing it, but it's absolutely a riveting piece of content, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Now, Ian Rappaport is answering the question that we are all thinking. Well, more specifically, it's a guy by the name of Rick Stroud, who Ian Rappaport is quote tweeting, which means Ian Rappaport supports, which means Rick Stroud is a valid source. So Ian Rappaport quote tweeted Rick Stroud saying, when people say he's playing so well, why would he retire? Well, according to Rick Stroud, Tom Brady on his Let's Go podcast, I said this a few years ago, it's what relationships are all about. It's not always what I want.
I think he says he's gonna keep playing until he's 45 though.
I'm going to spend a lot of time with them and figure out in the future what's next. Now this is where it gets really interesting because it seems like, and Tom Brady's going to expand on this really soon, it seems like there are two decisions on Tom Brady's shoulders. On one hand, it's his absolute love and borderline obsession with competition. I don't know if you guys have noticed this trend, but every single one of the greats have one really borderline toxic trait that kind of makes them psychotic, and that's their need to compete. I mean, if you watch the Last Dance documentary, Michael Jordan would literally turn everything into a competition. Kobe Bryant would turn everything into a competition. And now you have Tom Brady, who literally went on Man in the Arena and explained his need to compete. And in this point,
well, I did not know that.
Tom Brady has to make a decision between his need to compete, but also with his need to satisfy his family. And it's actually
that's true.
It seems like maybe his motivation on the field might have been sapped a little bit. And that's according to Rick Stroud, because he says, Tom Brady on his Let's Go podcast, the team doesn't deserve anything less than my best. And if I feel like I'm not committed to that, or I can't play at a championship level, then you got to give someone else a chance to play.
That's true.
And we'll see. Now, here's the thing, man. You also have to bear in mind, this is still fairly fresh after a rough loss to the Los Angeles Rams. But on top of that, instead of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming out on top, they ended up losing to the Los
Angeles.
I've been dreaming about this all my days, treasure that's never been found.
Los Angeles Rams, and this is after an absolutely exhausting season for Tom Brady. Literally a few weeks prior, he was dealing with Antonio Brown drama. Throughout the entire season, apparently there were some things going on behind the scenes for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's at least what Levante David said. According to Levante David, he said this in his post-game presser, saying that we had a lot of turmoil going on in our organization. Now, the full quote is, we had some mishaps here and there, guys bumped heads, we had a lot lot of turmoil going in our organization, guys getting injured, guys who are a large part of our success.
That's true.
Now, the only bits of turmoil that were at least visible to us as
Turmoil,
NFL
what is that?
fans was the Antonio Brown situation and Bruce Arians smacking the helmet of Andrew Adams, which
Damn.
but you never know what's going on
Bruce
behind the
Arians'
scenes,
ass.
especially with these football
did that to
teams.
me.
They're taught constantly not to air out their dirty laundry, and sometimes things get out there, and even those things that get out there are pretty intense. So I can only imagine what goes on behind closed doors. And maybe that is all taking a toll on Tom Brady, because you also have to bear in mind, this man is literally 44 years old. Now,
But he did say he's gonna play till he's 45 though.
True conundrum that's
So I doubt he's retiring.
He feels conflicted by this dilemma because he comes out and says straight up that he gets so much joy from playing football. I love it, but not playing football, there's a lot of joy in that for me also now too, with my kids getting older and seeing them develop and grow. So all these things need to be considered, and they will be. It's very important to note, he also says this in Man in the Arena, that Tom Brady doesn't really get to spend a lot of time with his family during the middle of the season. And that makes a lot of sense considering the fact that he has to train, he has to read up playbooks, he has to study film. He is the captain of his team, so he needs to make sure all the members of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense are on the same page. So it makes a lot of sense that he doesn't spend as much time with his family as he would like to. He also brings up how his family feels about him playing football, saying that Giselle feels pain to see him get hit out there, and she deserves what she needs from me as a husband.
Damn.
My kids deserve what they need from me as a dad. So the only takeaway that you have from this is the fact that Tom Brady is truly conflicted here. For the first time in his career, it's not a foregone conclusion that he wants to come back and play. I feel like deep down inside, he feels like he's accomplished everything he needs to accomplish on the NFL
I think he
field,
did
but
personally.
He feels conflicted because he loves competing, but at the same time,
Hey, in that
he
Patriots
values his
jersey. Hey.
relationship with his family, and he wants to make sure that he's available in their
Yeah, man, he looks
as
good
a
in that
dad.
jersey, man.
Honestly, it's really hard to say what he's going to decide here, but I could tell you what Rob Gronkowski's deciding. It seems like he might return no matter what, because he said, year 11 in the books, what a ride it's been. Grateful to the Bucs for giving me an opportunity to play another year. To my teammates, thank you for giving everything you had. The sweat we shed and memories made will never be forgotten. Thanks to the crew too, year 12 with the eyes emoji. So it seems like more likely than not, no matter what happens, I expect Rob Gronkowski to be back. But let's say if Tom Brady was to retire, then what would the Tampa Bay Buccaneers do? Well, according to TampaBay.com, if Tom Brady retires, the Bucs will once again look for a free agent quarterback. Bruce Arians said that we went down that road 2 years ago.
You can't use Kyle
Brady.
Trask.
Now, Rick Stroud also mentions that Bruce Arians said that if Tom Brady retires, he would be comfortable with the quarterbacks on his roster in Blaine Gabbert and Kyle Trask. But he would look behind door number 2 since that's how they found Tom Brady. I wanted to make a note out of this, man, because it's really funny to me. Bruce Arians has some sort of crush on Blaine Gabbert, and I really don't understand it if I'm being honest. I dug this up from 8 months ago, where Bruce Arians said on a podcast that, I'll be honest
terrible,
with you,
man.
I'd be excited to take Blaine Gabbert and go to war, because I love Blaine Gabbert. I think he's the most underrated player in the NFL. If you don't know who Blaine Gabbert is, he's like a notorious draft bust from 10 years ago. Think Blake Bortles before Blake Bortles, because he literally got drafted by the same exact team. Through the entirety of his career, he's thrown 50 touchdowns to 47 interceptions. Through the early parts of his career, you can see that he was absolutely awful with the Jacksonville Jaguars. In his defense, he never really got the best teams to show out, but it seems like once he was able to get to the Arizona Cardinals in 2017, well, he got Bruce Arians to absolutely fall in love with him. If you want my personal belief, what I think would happen if Tom Brady was to leave, well, I think this is a very long shot scenario, but if Tom Brady was to leave, I could imagine the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at least attempting to bring in Aaron Rodgers. Now, how much Aaron Rodgers would enjoy playing in Tom Brady's shadow is a discussion for a different day, because I personally think
Aaron Rodgers might leave
versus Tom Brady debate.
I think he's gonna leave.
I don't think you can even compare the two at this point. I think Aaron Rodgers is a truly remarkable quarterback, but in terms of team success, you just can't compare the two. And I also think that the entire Tampa Bay Buccaneers culture is 100% dependent on getting a quarterback that people will respect as much as Tom Brady. And
That's true.
If Tom Brady was to retire, the only other quarterback that would demand that type of respect would be Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers would be the type of quarterback that the rest of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers team would re-sign for on incentive-based contracts just to play with. Now, again, I think this is an absolute long shot. I'm going to be 100% honest. I don't see this happening at all whatsoever. I really think what will most probably end up happening is Tom Brady will return. It will be his quote-unquote last dance, and the fact that it's his
That's what I think, because he says he's going to play till he's 45.
to be the best that he can be, and he could finally retire with the Super Bowl. But that's what I think about the situation, man. Let me know in the comment section. What do you?
I personally think he's going to leave when he's 45, bro. That's what I think. I remember he said that. He's going to have this one last year, try to make it again. If not, he's out. I'll see you guys next